religious. They was religious. They practiced Judaism. So they was a religious organization, like a 501c3 corporation. Verse 3, and Yahushua, who is Jesus, answering them and said, have you not read what David did when he was hungry, he and those who were with him? So every time the Pharisees asked Yahushua, Jesus, a question, he answered them with a question, because he wanted to make sure that they understood the context of what he was saying, because the Pharisees took everything out of context. The same way the 501c3 corporations do today. They take all the scriptures out of context to make it fit their cup of tea. And so Yahushua, Jesus said, have you not read? He's referring them back to the scriptures, to the Old Testament. That's why it's vitally important, imperative, that you understand the Old Testament as well as the New Testament, and that you can relate both, because they're in agreement. There's no compromise, there's no conflict, there's no contradiction. The Old Testament and the New Testament are on one accord. What's said in the Old Testament is said in the New. What's said in the New Testament is said in the Old Testament. There's no disagreement. That's only agreement. And so you can't just read the New Testament and you can't just read the Old Testament. You have to read both. So he's referring them back to the Old Testament because that's the only thing that was written at this time. He said, have you not read what David did when he was hungry? And he and those who were with him. So he's comparing what David did to what the Pharisees are saying. The Pharisees are asking him, why are you doing what is not right on the Sabbath? They just sticklers for do's and don'ts and rules and regulation, man-made tradition, but not keeping the word of God in spirit and in truth. And so Yahushua Jesus is asking them, have you not read what David did? Verse 4,